What's up, folks? Welcome back to another Adobe live stream. My name is Anika, and I will be your host today. Thank you so much for joining us on Adobe Live's Week of Women. We are featuring women identifying artists, photographers, hosts, and designers. And we have the most amazing brand designer, Mackenzie Bird, with us. Hey, Mackenzie, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm so excited. I'm having a great day, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. We're going to dive into wine labels and packaging design in this stream today in Adobe Illustrator with Mackenzie. So stick around for that. But if you haven't got the replays of the Illustrator Creative Challenges or haven't tuned in live, hey, you're missing out. We are going live every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific with Claudie from Print by Soul. So make sure to tune into those. We have a very fun 36 Days of Type featured challenges this week. So make sure to tune into those, amp up your creative skills, and go to the Discord, put your work in. We have mentors who provide feedback. So it's all really fun. Make sure to tune into those. And I want to say hi to everyone in chat. I see a lot of friends. I want to say hi to Wade, who will be modding for us. Hey, Wade. Wade is going to try to keep it professional out there. Thanks, Wade. We see Jack. We see Biola. Natashko is tuning. Natashko was actually live yesterday. Great streams. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Robert. Amazing people. If you don't know whom I'm talking about, you're probably watching this on YouTube. So make sure to hop on over to Behance. We are at be.net/Adobe Live. Come on over and join the conversation. And without further ado, Mackenzie, do you want to talk about yourself, who you are, what you do, and what we're going to dive into today?
Sure thing. Yeah. So hi, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Bird. I go by M Bird on the internet, and I'm a brand designer. I have been a freelance graphic designer for about 2 years now. My previous education and expertise is in media studies and communications, and I jumped into specifically graphic design about 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I'm so excited to share my work with you and just share some tips and tricks and how I use all these awesome programs. So let's jump in. So here is my website right here. I'll just show you a few different projects I have up here. This is another wine label one I have. This is my most recent client project. Coffee, a mobile coffee truck in California, an outdoor brand. So I kind of do a bit of everything. I focus on mainly small business branding, just really anything that sounds fun to work on to me, to be honest. So yeah, I have a few other projects on here. I'm also on Behance. I've uploaded a few on there as well. And I am also on Instagram. So I feel like a few friends of mine from Instagram will be joining today. So hi, everyone. And yeah, why don't I just jump into the project that we'll be working on today?
Yeah, let's do it. I have to say your website is amazing. Ryan in the chat also says that you've got a cool website. Hey, we love your website.
Oh, nice. I love that. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, I just recently redid it actually, so I'm pretty happy with that. So let me start from the beginning of this project that I'm working on, because the wine packaging is just one part of the puzzle that I am designing the brand for. So this brand is called Savor. They are a charcuterie business actually based in California, and they have a brick and mortar shop. They cater. They have a lot of house branded items that they're coming out with. They're also redoing the interior of their shop. So this is a big project, and we're also redoing their website as well. So it's a huge thing. I just wanted to focus on one part of it today, being packaging. And yeah, let me kind of take you through the mood board and a little bit of other information that I have about it to start us off. Before I get there, actually, I'll kind of explain what I'm going to be doing today and then what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So today I will be kind of laying everything out in Illustrator. I'll be playing around a bit more, not so much technical specs of anything. That'll be more for tomorrow. So tomorrow is kind of choosing the colors and making sure that they'll print correctly, like laying everything out so that it will be print ready. And then I'll also mock it up on a wine bottle. So yeah, today it's just going to be like the more creative process part, and tomorrow it'll be like the actually getting to lay everything out on the wine bottle itself. So
yeah, I actually love your mood board. It's very colorful and like totally your style with the type and the colors that you've used. I love it.
Totally. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, as a lot of people could probably tell in my work, like I love typography so much. And I mean, that's a classic designer thing. Like who doesn't love typography? But I love to kind of like experiment with type and color and things like that. So, I mean, those are like the design fundamentals, obviously, but I just like something bright. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'll start with this first slide. This is kind of like your wines that you find at a store. You know, they all kind of look the same. They're like nothing against them. This is what a lot of wines look like. But what we're doing for this project is a little bit more experimental. We want to do something like more playful, kind of that, I don't know, a bit more experimental, I guess. What else is there to say about it? So yeah, that's my goal with this.
Yeah, I really love how you set up like the competitor analysis with all the wines in the market already. That really sets the tone of the project. Great work.
Yeah, totally. So why don't I jump into Illustrator right now? This is actually in InDesign. So this is where I like set up all my presentations and things like that. And then I also use Illustrator. So I'm going to go in here. Yeah, and here we are. This is just like some preliminary information that I have set up. And I just wanted to kind of like give everyone a background about Savor. So I mentioned this before, but they're a charcuterie shop based in California. They host workshops as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. And they ship some of their boards nationwide. So yeah, they're doing big things. So yeah, our project goals are to create a label that stands out on the shelf. We want it to be like something photogenic, something fresh and playful, while maintaining kind of like a sense of modern sophistication, because it's still a bit of like an upscale. I mean, wine is a bit of an upscale product usually anyways. So yeah, that's the kind of like vibe that we're going for this. I've also oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I love that it's a women-owned charcuterie. Really goes with our theme for this week.
Exactly. Yeah. Happy International Women's Day yesterday, and Women's History Month as well. Yeah, so I thought that was really fun. They have actually a pretty large staff of mostly women as well. So they are super sweet, and it's been great to work with them so far. So on the right-hand side, I've also put some required information. These are just the things that every wine label has to have. I found this just online. You can look up like what wine label has to have. You can do that for like any kind of label. So that's just like a pro tip for anybody that is doing packaging. Usually you can just kind of like figure this out, and then I'll go back with the client and kind of like ask if there's anything that's missing or anything that they like feel like they have to have on there. But yeah, these are just like some bits of info that I wanted to include. Does anybody have any questions so far about this?
Not about this. There was a question about your website earlier, but they answered it that it's actually based on Squarespace and not WordPress. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Love it when they answer the questions themselves, but I am also happy to answer anything as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will relay them to Mackenzie safely. I'll hand them over.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about typography that I've picked up here. So I just kind of grabbed these beforehand, and I just like to have like a few different samples of what I'm going to work with. And they're all so different. So I'm not exactly sure the direction that this is going to go in yet, besides like the inspiration that I had before. But we have a variety of possibilities, let's say. And yeah, this is just like how I kind of lay everything out. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about that, I guess. So the way that I like choose typography is kind of like, does it go with the theme? So for this, it's like, we want to be fresh and playful. So like, say this font is like one of their brand fonts, and it's a little bit like more unusual than a typical like geometric sans serif. So, and some of these are more like blocky and chunky. I just like to play around. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I love that you have like even sans serif fonts. Usually like with upscale brands, we pick like serif fonts and think that's like our go-to. And I really love that you have like all kinds of typefaces over here.
Yeah, definitely a wide variety. We'll see what we end up with, but yeah, it's always good to know the rules and then break them, you know? And we want to stand off the shelf as well. So, and then I'll show you what else I have here. So I have created a few different little illustrations beforehand that kind of like go with the style that we're thinking for the brand. And I drew those on my iPad and then just like kind of plopped them in. And then these
look super fun. Everybody in the chat is going crazy with the mood board. Lola is here. Lola says, I want all of these fonts.
Awesome.
Yeah, more people joining us. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No,
please.
No worries. I love that. So yeah, these are just like some different illustration style. This is kind of like the illustration style that we want to go with. And I figured like with these patterns, we can kind of like pull some of these apart and use like different elements of it. But I like the idea of kind of having like, I'm picturing kind of having like a block of something illustrated and then like the wine name below. So I guess I didn't mention this, but we're doing a white label and a red label. So those are going to be based on the different the two co-founders actually, which is pretty fun. So their names are Amy and Cameron. We're gonna have an Amy wine and a Cameron wine. So I kind of wanted them to be two different looks, yet still be cohesive. So I think along the same color palette would be good, or like using some of the same typography in different ways.
I think there was a question in chat earlier, like if you've ever faced the challenge of translating the label in another language, like considering like the regional, or if you are distributing your product all over the world, you might have to like change the language to another language. I think Rob asked that in chat. Have you ever faced something like that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, actually. Since I live in Canada, it's we're bilingual, like officially as a country. So I have worked on packaging projects where we have to they employ the client employs their own translator for it. So it is tough though, because a lot, like when you're translating, you can lay out all the words like in English, and then once it's translated, it ends up being like 2 paragraphs longer or something like that. So that is definitely a challenge. And I guess maybe I'll talk about that in typography, because there's like some considerations around that. But that is a very interesting question. For this, I think it only has to be in English, since it's based in the US. So avoiding that. But otherwise, I think like places have to get their own. Yeah, exactly. Good question though. Sometimes people ask questions and then I'm like, oh yeah, good to think about. So that is definitely a great question though.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. And did you use Adobe Fresco for the illustrations or some other app? You mentioned you made it on the iPad.
Yeah, I actually use Procreate, but I hear people talking about Adobe Fresco. So I should probably download that as well.
Yeah, hey, if you guys haven't used Adobe Fresco, it's a free app. So you can download it on your iPad or even your Windows device.
That's awesome. Nice. And I'm assuming like the rest of the Adobe programs, like there's ways to kind of like seamlessly integrate it like through your iPad to your desktop. Yeah, I love to do that.
Yeah, I love that. It's about the experience and how seamless it is. So you can like sync your Fresco files. It's actually a .psd that you can get to Illustrator on the desktop and iPad as well. So very neat.
That is really good to know. So right here, what I'm first going to do, since I want to be able to change the colors of this illustration, I am just actually going to create outlines with this. If I did it already in color with the right dimensions on the iPad, I don't think I would have to like create outlines out of this, but I just wanted to use it in Illustrator, so this is the way that I'm doing that. So I love this good old image trace tool. Looks a little bit whack right now, but bear with me. Yeah, what was I gonna say about this image trace? You could also do this if you don't like have an iPad. You could also just like draw this with the Sharpie, like on a piece of paper, take a photo of it. There's other ways of doing that, and I totally don't think that I don't think that an iPad is an absolute must, because you can just like drop these into these programs. So yeah,
if you don't have an iPad, you can just take a photograph, like do it with a pen and paper, and then just take a photograph and bring it in.
Totally. So I just like to play with these things, maybe do that a little bit to get like the texture, how it was in the original.
Yeah, I love the organic feel of the edges on these.
Yeah, that's why I like to like draw it on Procreate, because you can kind of like capture a bit of that. Let's see. Sometimes you like go too far with this and it ends up being a black square, but will that happen? No. Good. Okay. I love it. So to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what all these things actually mean, but what I'm trying to do is to kind of like capture some of the texture, as Anika said. So yeah, I think that is pretty much spot on. I might like go in after, but I'm gonna click ignore white, and that will just make it have a transparent background like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and expand it. So as I said, I am just like playing around in here. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of like soften up these edges, and I believe that I see now is the time that I'm like, oh no, maybe I should have thought of this earlier, but I think I'm gonna go simplify. Oh yeah, okay, I'm happy with this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I'm gonna
too much.
Too much. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should just leave it like that. I'm just like maybe
too much Illustrator.
A little bit too close, and
why you do this?
Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So
hey, that looks nice.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think okay. I mean, we've got time, right? I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of like get rid of this little thing, and I really love to use this what do they call it? Shape maker tool? The
pen tool, yeah.
I like okay.
Oh, do you mean the shape builder?
The shape builder is yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. This is my fave. So I like to go in and just hit control, get rid of that. Yeah. No, that's gone. Okay. I don't know if I'm like, if everybody's like, yeah, obviously use that. Like, it's hard to know what everybody's skill level is, obviously. So, you know, I'm just speaking to everyone here.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys have ever used the shape builder, or if you prefer using the Pathfinder, let us know in the chat. That's a great conversation starter. I personally love the shape builder tool. Even though Pathfinder can be really fun, but I think in my workflow, I use like very tiny shapes sometimes.
Exactly.
Like, I need the shape builder in my life.
Yes, I feel that. Yeah, both are good for like different reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's like you need to get a little bit granular with things, like to this degree, obviously, but I just kind of like wanted to show how I would change something like this, but I don't know if it's always necessary, because it's like, you know, sometimes it's easy to become your own like pixel pusher and be like, this has to be exactly right, but then you zoom out, like everybody is looking at everything in a zoomed out way usually. So
Yeah.
it's necessary to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, pro tip right there. Everybody loves this shape builder tool. And Roman in the chat says, I can relate to, you know what? I'm going to leave it like that.
I love that. Sometimes you need to have a bit of that attitude, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like that's usually helpful. It's like sitting on your design and then like coming back to it. Sort of works like that.
Totally. So I am thinking that I'm going to add some typography here. Actually, this is just the last one that I was using, but I am very into this font. It's called Cooper Nouveau, and I think that it's kind of fun, especially with like the way that these flowers are flowing. And that could be a fun one, but then we can also go back to my typography board over here. Let me bring that over here. Let's see here. So Anika, we didn't say our time zones, but it is very, very late for you. And I can't get over that.
Well, it is 1:51 a.m. where I am. What time is it where you are?
Oh, it's 12:21. It is middle of the day. I'm feeling fine. I just can't believe that it's like you're such a night owl.
Of course, yeah. It really helps me. I always work at night, so like it's totally fine. It's like middle of the day for me too. Hey.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, tell us where you're tuning in from. What time is it? Wherever you are in the world. I love that we have like a worldwide community. And speaking of, if you are on YouTube, hop on over to Behance. I know there's a lot of people just joining us. Hop on over to be.net/Adobe Live and you can join the conversation.
All right. So I'm gonna ungroup all these here. And maybe let's expand it a little bit more because I'm feeling like it's a little bit close and like things are a little bit cramped. So that's the nice part of like designing elsewhere also and bringing it in here is that you can just kind of like move every individual thing around. And yeah, let's do it that way. Let's see. And then yeah, after this, I'll get into like the color more, but I'm not too sure about that yet. We have a few different colors to choose from on the mood board, so I'll probably like pop back in there and see. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, we have everyone telling us that it's 4:22 p.m. Someone's tuning in from Dominican Republic. Oh, nice. We have 9:22 p.m., 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Val, hi Val in Northern California tuning in. Nice. Yeah, nice. Everyone from all over the world. Hello.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's like been the most rewarding part of my freelance journey, I think, is like meeting people from everywhere in the world. And it's just so cool. You know, the internet, it's cool.
Yeah. The power of the internet, for sure. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. So, you know, I'm just kind of like spacing these out a little bit. We've kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. I've done a lot of research on like wine labels, and this is kind of like along the more natural wine kind of crowd thing, you might say, because a lot of natural wine has like super playful labels, just because it's like the pendulum swinging the other way from like the example of those other ones that I gave. You know, it's kind of like it's not stuffy. They want to be like a bit experimental, and so they'll have like literally a kid's drawing of something on the label. And
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I think it's so fun, and it's just fun to see like design trends like that pop up. And yeah, there's always like an opposite reaction when something is like so saturated in the design world, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you always like give like one simple concept to the clients, or do you like work around with like one crazy concept or one like traditional concept? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of different per project, I find. Say for like the whole brand, for example, I just provided like two different creative directions, like mood boards, because I don't know, for myself, I used to work at an agency and we always provided like 3 or 4 different like creative directions, but working by myself, it's so different that way, I find. Yeah, because I feel like I think a lot of other designers feel like that as well, but like it's so easy to kind of like go down one and like have tunnel vision, go down one direction and then like imagine everything about it. Whereas like I don't want to like spread my creative mind too thin, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Sometimes it's easier for us to like just go through 1 or 2 concepts and like just run with it.
Totally. And it's like, oh, why don't I include this mock-up for this direction and like stuff like that. And it's easy to get so excited about one thing, I think.
Yeah.
So so let me just move this over and I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit, you know? Okay. So this is kind of like what I'm thinking. I wanted it to be like a bit organic, kind of playful. And I think right now, maybe I should go back into the mood board and we can take a look at the color palette that I had in there. So I just picked these like right out of these photos, but I'm going to copy and paste the color code and paste that into Illustrator, and then we can kind of like suss things out as we get there. Because I find so often like I'll be like, ooh, I love this color. And then as soon as I put it with another one or something, I'm like, that's not what I was going for.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you should use libraries for that. I think that would be a great workaround for this.
Okay, that is good.
So if you
good to know. Whoops.
Yeah,
sorry.
but this also works. I always do this as well. So who am I to tell you that? Hey,
no.
you could use this. No,
I really appreciate that because I should. And I always love when people are like, you know what, this would be way easier if you did something different, because there's always tools. And like, even though I feel like I know Illustrator really well, I am still only scratching the surface probably with like what I can do in it. So yeah, I love all those tips.
Illustrator
has know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Illustrator has like 10 different ways to do the same thing. So even if you've been doing it for like years, you're still missing out on something. So yeah.
I could see that.
Totally normal.
So people might be thinking, why are you doing this in RGB? And the reason is because I like to have fun and I want to be creative in the beginning, you know? I don't want to be bound by the CMYK or the Pantones just yet. So later I'll get into that, but right now let me live my life is what I say. But I mean, sometimes that doesn't pay off because then you're like, oh wait, nothing even remotely close to this color exists in CMYK or whatever. So yeah.
Always a thing.
Yeah, choosing colors is hard, and it's funny, like I've been definitely more like into designing stuff for print lately, but when I was in school I was like, well, I'm never going to do any packaging or anything like that because it's so limiting. But I don't know, there are tons of like different ways to do packaging, and there's like all these cool like UV inks and stuff like that. So yeah. So these are what I put together before. I think I actually had a brighter red in there as well. So this one, you know, you're so right. I should totally use color libraries.
No, it's all good. Like I said, I always do the same. So
all right.
It's all good.
Awesome. So yeah, let's see.
Everybody's agreeing with you on the let me live my life bit, and CMYK isn't fun.
Right. It's like, and sometimes you start designing something in RGB and then remember, that's why I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do everything in RGB and then I don't need to be disappointed because I'm already kind of like setting myself up for disappointment. But yeah, that's my process. So I'm feeling like this looks really intense, and I'm thinking, I always just kind of like start out with a light background to begin with, especially for like the colorful kind of like flowers that I'm picturing for this. So I'm just gonna do a good old beige like that, maybe. And let's just lock that so I don't touch that anymore. Let's see what these look like. I'm just kind of like going for it with this. Does anybody like, what's the chat feeling like?
Everybody's just talking about color. Better to be disappointed by the out of gamut monster.
Yeah, the out of gamut monster, that's for sure.
That's fun. Everybody just agrees that it's fine. RGB is cool.
Okay, yeah, we love RGB. I'm a little bit worried though, because like we really want to use this bright blue color in here. And I think it's maybe in a few, it's not too bright, but I think that would be really fun, especially like maybe these teeny little flowers down there in that color. So I'm gonna just try and do my best. So tomorrow, stay tuned, because we will be working on that, and I'll like find the Pantone colors after this. So yeah,
love it. Yeah, so we have a question from Amelia in the chat. How did this client discover you? And do most clients find you through social media or somewhere else?
Yeah, this client found me through Instagram, and I would say like 98% of my clients find me through Instagram. Maybe like 1 to 5 find me through Pinterest, and the other like 1 finds me through like maybe Google or something like that, and they're like a local client. But most of the clients that I work with find me online, which is great. It's funny how that works, because I feel like a lot of my clients lately have like been from California, and just like mostly on the West Coast, I guess. But I feel like that kind of like makes sense for the style of work that I'm doing, is very like colorful. So maybe there's that. But yeah, Instagram is like primarily how people find me, which is it's been really great.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Social media, gotta love social media. Social media has its perks.
Yeah, totally. It's always a balance, hey, but it is really fun. And like I feel like I've discovered such a awesome community of people who are super supportive, and that is like so necessary. I feel like when you're working by yourself, because I really miss like having coworkers and things like that, and it's been really nice to like have other people to chat about with like similar problems and similar wins as well, so
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm honestly just doing this willy-nilly, so I'm maybe after they're all colored in, I'll get like a little bit more specific.
Yeah, it's looking fun. I think the colors with the shapes go really well.
Yeah, I might change this, because I think I want them to be like a little more like pastel kind of thing. But as I say, you never know when we get into the CMYK and the Pantone. So, but I wanted this to be a little bit more. So yeah, it's hard when you can't print like every single color that your eye can see,
Yeah. Suddenly you change the color mode and they're like, oh, these colors look different.
Yeah, totally. Like you'll be working on something for like hours and hours, and then be like, oh, okay, now everything looks gray. Whoopsie. Okay, I think that's because I did this. So back to the old shape builder.
We have a lot of lurkers in chat. Hey, lurk away. We love the lurkers over here.
A lot of lurkers. Oh, man.
Yeah, okay. We all like to work and lurk. I think everybody loves the stream so much and we like hate to miss it. So
Yeah, that's so fun. I know I watch them quite often and I've been watching a lot more recently since I was going to do this. And it's just so fun to see people's process, and like all of the ones that I've watched, I've like been designing alongside kind of. So it's fun, and it's kind of like a little co-working session.
Oh yeah, exactly. So Laura in the chat asks, how did you land on this style of illustration?
Yeah, that's a fun question. So I kind of wanted to do something a little bit, basically the shop is it's kind of like French, like a European kind of grocery store vibe. So that is kind of like what I wanted to evoke with this. And along the lines of what I was saying before, just like a bit playful, like something kind of like the total opposite of the other wine packaging that I shared before, that was just like the example of like the wall of the wines that all looked the same. So yeah, I kind of just thought that it would be fun to do something that would be like a cute piece of art that you could have on all the shelves, and yeah, when you buy it, that's like something that's really nice that people appreciate. What am I talking about? It's
love
nice
that.
to have like people buy things because of the packaging.
I was gonna say that. Do you ever buy stuff because you really love the packaging? You may or may not have the need for the product, but the packaging is so great that you're like, I need this in my life.
Totally. Especially for me, for like food or drinks, because it's so like, even if you hate it, it's not a huge investment, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, I think I'm just gonna change this blue color. I'm not sold on this green either, to be honest, but I want it to be kind of like a springtime. Okay, yeah. So what I should do right now actually is add this into a swatch. Here we go. I'm just gonna leave it RGB, and then I'll change these. Yeah, I'm
Rob in the chat says no one faces more color disappointment than those that print on newsprint. Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine that.
Yeah, and Matthew is really excited. He says Mackenzie in all uppercase. Mackenzie.
Oh. Hi, Matthew. That's nice. I kind of actually am into. No, I'll leave it like this. This pink is not the one. This is very Pepto-Bismol. So let's see.
Nice.
Maybe a little bit more like purpley blue. You know, I don't know why I'm spending so much time on the colors, as I have mentioned. It's
all good over here. It's part of the process. I love that it's like a live stream, so you can actually see how long it takes.
Yeah,
it's not all just, hey, this is the design. We did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, people would love if I did it in 5 minutes, but
well, oops.
Yeah, time to wake up.
That's not how it works.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I kind of want to like randomly place these colors a bit more sporadic, I suppose. It's always hard when you're working with a bunch of different colors and then you're kind of like, oh no, if I change this one to this one, it's gonna ruin the flow of it. So
yeah. Love that. I love that you have like colors and you're customizing them on the go. But someone was wondering in the chat that if you ever make swatches and then customize them, like maybe perhaps global swatches.
Global swatches. I don't do that, but it sounds like something I should do, right?
No, it's all good. You can actually make the swatches and add them to your like the swatches panel that you have open. And if you select like a button and you check the global, see, right? You are already doing it. Hey.
Okay, then I am doing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the answer is yes, but you can actually change it dynamically, right? If you click the swatch and then change the color in here, it's automatically changing all the colors in the Illustrator file. So you don't have to manually go in and select the shapes and change the color.
Totally. Yes. So to answer that question, yeah, I do that occasionally.
Terms.
Yeah.
Technical terms are hard. Hey.
Totally. Especially like there's so many tools and this and that. Okay, I want
And
this to
also
be...
when you're live streaming, words are hard, you guys.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with this. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But right now I'm gonna move on to the typography part, I think. And yeah, I like to zoom in, zoom out, like, I don't know, take a look at different things, kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's like good to do. It's hard when you just like are so, like I said before, like tunnel vision with one specific part of the project, and then you spend like 3 hours on it, and then you're like, oh, nobody noticed that doesn't really make a difference. So yeah. So I am kind of into this style of font. Not exactly sure if this is the exact one that I'm wanting for this, but I kind of like the contrast between like this playful illustrative style and then like this more like serif font. And it's a little bit like of those super popular right now vintage serif, like 80s Apple vibe. So yeah, I'll just try that out kind of. I'm thinking that this one will be the let me change that, because I'm thinking that this one will be the Cameron wine that will be for the white wine. So let's see how that looks. I like it. Whoopsie, sorry.
I like the A on that. Really nice. Bold.
Yeah, I don't even remember like how I discovered this font, but it is VC Garamond condensed. So that one is pretty fun. It's very similar to Apple Garamond, maybe.
Yeah, I think Matthew in the chat was mentioning that earlier.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I kind of like how that looks. Even in black, I don't hate it, but like I think it would be better maybe with a different color to kind of like, or maybe like brown even. I don't know. I'm just playing around here, as I've said. So
yeah, love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the blue better, to be honest.
Yeah,
it kind of worked with the contrast of the whole like all of the flowers over there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And then what I'm actually gonna do now that we're kind of like delving into the typography a little bit more is go over here where I have all this required information and miscellaneous information. So I'm going to, how shall I do this? I'm just gonna move these little swatches up here, and then let's see. I think I kind of like the idea of having it all like down here. But I don't know. I like the idea of having the Cameron kind of like anchoring it at the bottom. We'll see. Just gonna do a little copy and paste over here. So this,
love it. Everybody in the chat is loving everything. James says this looks amazing. Val loves it, and then Matthew's like brown, yes, and then Val is like blue, yes.
Okay. We'll see. we'll come back to that. But I'll make somebody happy either way.
Yeah, let us just circle back to it. Hey.
Yeah, let's circle back. Classic. So I think I'm gonna make this like 8 or 9 point. That's pretty classic packaging size. I think you don't really want to go like, I think the smallest, here's a little fun fact, the smallest I've ever done is 5, 5.5 or 5. It's so small for packaging, but the package was also obviously very tiny as well. But I wouldn't recommend that. That was for like a medical like related product, so it was the fine print. So yeah, like to somebody's point earlier, you want they said, what about translating to a different language? So that is obviously something to keep in mind. You want both, everything you need to be able to fit in one place, while also kind of like not always making it as small as possible, but like usually you want this kind of like more fine print to be as small as possible. But so, I don't know, some brands like might do it in a cool way, but I think usually it's just kind of like, well, it's not going to be the first thing people read, you know?
Yeah. So is it like the text that you absolutely have to have as per government regulations? Is that the one that you,
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So let's just stick that down here for now. We'll revisit that. And then same with this, the contains sulfites also has to be on there. Maybe it could be, whoops, sorry about that. Uh-oh, what's happening?
So is this like an FDA website where you went and like checked how you can like what all information you need to put on the label?
Yeah, exactly. I don't exactly remember what website it was, but it was like the alcohol board or something like that. So they had all that information on there. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I have seen it on the US Food and Drug Administration website. So I think there's a PDF where you can like check how many points justified the text needs to be, even when you're adding like nutritional information on food packaging. So that's very handy. You guys can go check it out.
Yeah, even if you're doing like a mock-up project or like a personal project just for fun, it's really like nice to add those kind of details onto it, I think. And also it like makes it look more legit. And it's like more important to have that as a challenge, I feel like, because that's like, this is not necessarily the fun part, is like adding this type of text, but it is the part that is mandatory. So let me get rid of this. And these are kind of the things that I think that alcohol by volume needs to be on there, but this is the information that like isn't 100% required maybe, but it's like rarely left out, which makes sense. So I'm just gonna change this to black. I'm sorry.
Everybody's really loving the energy. Oh, that's cool. Okay. It's also chaos in the chat. Everyone's like, brown looks so good. Great chat. Really playing. Also love the brown, but orange would also look cute. Hey.
I could see that. Okay, I'll try a bunch of colors after. That's like also, I don't know. I easily am distracted by using a billion different colors, and I think that's why a lot of people are like, start in black and white. But sometimes I can't help myself, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you already have a direction and you know where you want to go with it, I feel like it's sometimes fine to even go in with color.
Okay,
and
thank
obviously,
you.
I feel, yeah, for sure. I feel like it's better suited for like logo design when you're actually seeing if the shapes are working or not, and then trying to go in for like, but it's better to visualize in this case because you're doing packaging. I feel like it's all right. It's just part of the process. I can see myself using color, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Okay. I see that. I appreciate your support because I totally agree that like in a logo, it's kind of different because it's like you'll need to see that in like a million different ways, but for packaging it's like it's never going to be black and white, so it doesn't really matter. It is nice to like be able to know if it would work, I guess, but there are so many design rules out there that people love to be like, you should only do this, and it's like, well, that's okay if you want to play by that, but it's fine. I think it's fun to break the rules, but yeah, let's see. So how am I going to do this? I kind of wanted it to be in like a little bit of a grid type thing. So to have it like...
Also, have you saved yet? Hey, if you're watching this, please save your work, drink water, and stretch while you're watching us. And also, you should save as well, Mackenzie.
Save
please
as
save.
well. Yeah. Thank you. I need
Friendly
somebody
reminder.
telling me that all the time.
Yeah, almost 50 minutes into the stream, we're saving for the first time. Hey, welcome to
Okay.
Adobe Live. I'm kidding.
Whew.
But hey, welcome to Adobe Live. If you're just joining us, we are with Mackenzie. She's a brand designer based out of Vancouver, and we are designing a wine label today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hop on over to Behance. There is a link in the live chat. So make sure to come on over and have fun with us. We have a lot of friends talking about wine. So come on over.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's really excited. Like, hey, orange is good, vintage. It is rarely used in wine bottles. Yeah, that's a good point. Orange, I don't think I've ever seen people use orange in a wine bottle.
Yeah,
label.
that's true. Yeah, a lot of it, I mean, obviously the traditional ones are just like beige and black and like wine colored, like dark red, I guess. But yeah, like I was saying, there's so many more fun ones nowadays. But I feel like I've yet to see like a fun looking like mainstream wine in just like your average liquor store, I guess, because I feel like it's mostly like the more independent producers that are coming out with like cooler or not cooler. I mean, cooler based on your taste, but more playful, more like whimsical designs.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's also to do with the size of the organizations. Because sometimes like if you're working, like I've experienced that working with small businesses, that you have more of a creative freedom and you can break the rules and like do more of what you think will be better for the brand rather than just sticking to what you know.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. And it's like, I think also a lot of what I have read, like with the research that I've done on these like smaller wine labels is like a lot of, they're just kind of like employing like an illustrator from the town that they're in, like not necessarily like a huge agency that'll like do something more corporate looking, I guess. So yeah, to each their own though.
Yeah. When I asked people to save, Bex in the chat actually accidentally tried to close the file. So I'm sorry, Bex.
Oh no.
It's like accidentally hitting. I have this pet peeve. Do you have a pet peeve in Illustrator, and what's like the best tool that you think? What's your favorite tool?
Ooh, okay. So I don't know. I mean, the thing that I love the most about Illustrator is the appearance panel. So I really like, I don't know, I've seen a few people use it, and this is like what I learned to do everything on in school. But maybe like more old school people don't use this because it's apparently like newish. I don't know how new it is, but I love to use the appearance panel because you can do so many things without like ruining it. So like I'm adding a stroke, like doing whatever, and then you can just like toggle them on and off. And I think that is really fun to use. So that's like my favorite. It's like kind of an all-encompassing tool, obviously. So I'm kind of like giving a non-answer by saying that, but I love that.
Yeah, I also love the appearance. Is there also a pet peeve? Also, chat, tell us your favorite tools.
Yeah, yes. I feel like I've already learned so much from you. So yeah, any favorite tools out there?
It's the beauty of Adobe Live. We all learn and work together. Love it.
I love that.
Alice in the chat actually asked a question earlier that I missed. Is there a back label allowed for this project?
There is no back label for this particular project yet. I'm not completely sure if there will be based on the packaging supplier, but it's not always mandatory. So I'm going to try and like address everything on this front label. But for this it's not mandatory. So I just kind of wanted to like put everything on the front.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my reasoning. So sorry, let me bring this to the front. I kind of wanted to do this thing, and maybe I will like cover this up a little bit. Actually, sorry.
Nice. Val had a very fun question for us.
Ooh, okay,
Mackenzie and Anika, what has been the hardest lesson you've learned in the industry?
Oh boy, hardest lesson.
That's a long one. Hey,
Why don't you
the
go
hardest
first?
question. That is the hardest question, Val. I would say the hardest lesson I've learned in the industry would be to not, when I was first starting out as a freelancer, I did not have a very well contract in place. And that has been my hardest lesson. But I learned very quickly early on in my career, and I'm really thankful for that. So now I have like a foolproof contract in place. I go over the standard of like the scope of work, and then I just talk my clients through every step of the way, and I have everything in milestone set up. So I think that's gonna be my hardest lesson. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Mackenzie, how about you?
Yeah, that is a very good answer. I would say the hardest lesson that, I don't know, there hasn't really been anything that's like, I guess just like, don't do something that you think is maybe a no, and that you'll think you'll have to like change what you do to make yourself fit into doing a project, if that makes sense. So I guess that would be like, a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, I should totally do this, even though like there are a lot of red flags maybe. And I'm kind of like, yeah, like it's a great opportunity, and a great opportunity, it doesn't mean anything when you are having a bad time with it, you know? So
yeah, I agree with that. It's like always saying yes to everything.
Totally.
It's that. Val says, I almost prefer everything on one side, because like less labels means you can like scrape less of the glue off for art projects later.
That is so true. Yeah, you can reuse it, and that's the thing about like having a nice label, is like you are like, oh, I don't want to throw it out now, or I don't want to recycle it because it looks so cute. So I'm kind of I'm not so sold on the colors, because it's like we want it to be playful and fun, but it's giving me a bit of like kids drawing right now. So I'm gonna revisit that. But I'm happy with the way that I'm happy with most of the layout, how it is kind of like layered a little bit. I like this bit over top, and here's like all the information. So how do we feel about this typography? Let me kind of like try out a few different things. I did really I like this is a new one from Adobe Fonts, actually. Spirits. All of them are called like, there's like new spirit, this spirit, that spirit, but spirits is a new one here. I think I like the soft version. Let's see.
Love that. Everybody in chat is telling us our favorite tools. We have Shape Builder in the house, Appearance Panel. Matthew also likes Appearance Panel.
Yes.
Val says her favorite Illustrator feature or tool is a blend tool. Nice.
Oh,
yeah. I love the blend as well.
Yeah, I've watched so many tutorials on that, and to be honest, like I haven't tried to grasp it so much, but hearing that it's your favorite, like maybe I should get into it.
Yeah,
like, is it for gradients kind of thing?
Well, you can create colors from blends as well. You can like take one stroke line with a greater width, and then another one with a smaller width, like a stroke size of 4 and a stroke size of 12, and make a blend out of those, and it would like increasingly change the size. So like going from 4 to 12, and you can specify the number of lines you want in between those, and you can change that dynamically. So it's pretty fun. You should experiment with that.
I should. That does sound, that sounds cool.
Yeah, blend is super fun for stuff like that. Also to like just add abstract elements in the design if you're working with like a modern style poster design or something.
Cool. Good to know. So I'm kind of into this, but I think let me just like sample how it would look. Whoops, something's not working, but that's okay. Calling code. Let me see right now. Apperque. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. If anybody knows how to pronounce that. Fonts are so hard, you know, because it's like, well, it doesn't matter if it's like, some of them are just made up words, and some of them like actually mean something. So
what is this one called? I'm sorry, I didn't get
this one is Apperque. I think it has a little accent on the C potentially, but could be wrong.
Interesting.
So
okay.
Not sure.
Is
but
it an Adobe font? I'm trying to find
It
it.
is not an Adobe font. It is one
Okay.
of the brand
No
fonts that
worries.
I'm using, but I
Mm-hmm.
might be using, or I might just try and use calling code, which is Adobe, because this is
Pursue. Oh, is it like
oh, I
something under the
pursue.
sea?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's like a cedilla. So yeah, pursue. Okay. It's
Okay.
pronounced as sea if it's like under the sea. Whatever. You get it.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounded way nicer than when I said it. That makes sense. Okay, I really like this font from Adobe. I'm not sure if it's like the best in this context, but I like it as just like a monospace font. Maybe I'll even put it on this one.
Yeah, I love that. Val was actually talking about undercharging her work when she first started out.
Ooh.
That has been the hardest lesson for her, and everyone's just chiming in about prices, which is actually a good point. Yeah, I feel like as a community, we all need to be more transparent about the price, the way that we price our work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, did you ever face any challenges when you first started freelancing? Like, how did you decide what price? I mean, I know it's a very long question, but what was the guideline that you followed?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a good question because I think I was like, oh, other creatives are charging this amount. Like maybe I should
Yeah.
too. But it's really important as well to take to like obviously it's important to take a lot of factors into account when pricing, but the one that I kind of ignored was like my experience, and I was comparing myself to a lot of people who like were new and stuff like that, so that kind of obviously resulted in undercharging. So yeah, I don't know, it's based on a few different things obviously, but I would say like definitely consider the amount of experience you have, because that goes into it, and like if you are like your how extensive your experience or your education is in design, because that's like also part of it. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting. It's just interesting to know like what bigger design agencies charge, because
Mm-hmm.
they can sometimes charge a lot, and then the freelancers are out here doing it for like a
Yeah.
fifth of what the agencies are charging, and
Maybe
like doing
less.
the same kind of work, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
it's a tough one for sure. And people, like, I think it's normal that people are like, pricing so hard. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not normal, it kind of sucks, but it's very common, that's what I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. There are a lot of factors when you price your work. And definitely all things inclusive, you have to keep your experience into consideration, because it's not just you doing something efficiently, it's you doing it over the years and honing your skills for like say
Totally.
5 years and then trying to do it in 5 minutes. So it's
Totally.
not just those 5 minutes that matter, but the 5 years that you've been learning all of that um, to get to those 5 minutes. And also, it's not
Exactly.
just about using the tools, it's about having the industry experience and also like knowing what works and what doesn't.
Totally. Yeah, and it's not only the tools, and it's not only even like your style or whatever. It's like the
Yeah.
ideas that are coming from you, because that's like the only original thing, I feel like, a lot of the time. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, this person copied me, this person did this, and it's kind of like those a lot of things can be copied, but it's like if you can actually if you are actually coming up with cool ideas and you're the first one to do things, and that's like where
Yeah.
that really shows through, I think. And even if people copy you, it's kind of like, oh well, there's more ideas where that came from. That's what I like to think, at
Yeah.
least.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like putting your stuff on the internet. I mean, everybody's
Totally.
going to see it. And if you can't just, it's about putting yourself out there, basically. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
totally agree.
it's so true.
Val also brings up a very good point. Val says, if we can all come together as a community and encourage others to have the confidence to charge fairly and comfortably, we can shape how those outside the community value creative work. I absolutely agree with that, Val.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Um,
Yeah, it's yeah, that's the thing about like the design community. It's like you have to,
yeah.
it's nice to have support and stuff like that, but it's like we also have to like keep each other accountable to like
Yes.
because it's everyone together that can benefit from things like that. So
absolutely. Yep.
Okay, I'm kind of I feel like I'm getting somewhere with this general layout. I'm still like not completely sold on the fonts that I'm doing right here, but I just kind of like to like have everything in place. So
I actually love how that's looking. The monospace works really well for like readability.
Yeah, it does. I think people are afraid of it sometimes, or like not people. I think a lot of time clients are afraid of it because they're like, it's a computer font, like it looks so digital. But I mean, I've never had that said to me, but like I think that a lot of people might feel that way, but when it's like in the right context, I think that it works well, and like you said, like it's pretty legible. So yeah, I'm kind of into this. I think I might want to do something with this E. How far through? Oh, look at there's a little alternate. Okay, yes.
Yeah, just as a time check, we are about 1 hour 5 minutes in, so we're doing great.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh, time really flies.
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna have to fill so much time, but now I'm like, whoa. I mean, that's kind of how it is when you're designing as well, though. You can like get so into something and then it's like, whoa, 4 hours later.
Yeah, it's like a meme. I agree.
Okay, I'm kind of into this so far. Let's think about it, but I do like this font a lot, but I'm not sure if it was better with like the extra little more serif-y vibe on there. That is not like a technical term, but the serifs were more extended, let's say. So let me see, Garamond. I think it was
I think there was a question regarding prices. I think I missed that. But Lara, for your experience, how much time did you spend freelancing until you felt confident enough to like with your prices and your work?
So I've been freelancing for maybe since September 2021, maybe a year. So before that, I worked I have experience in PR. I worked in digital ads. Then I worked at a design agency. So yeah, I don't know if that's like relevant to that question, but I think I don't know. I'm pretty confident with my pricing now. I'm like, okay, this is reasonable for me. And you also have to consider like there's so many things with like your skills and this and that, what I just said, that you have to consider when you're pricing yourself. But also it's like you need to make a living as well. So you need to set aside money for taxes and that kind of thing too. So it's important to consider like how much you'll actually be able to say that you made at the end of the year, and if that is enough to sustain you, because that kind of thing adds up so quickly, and like admin costs of like even like to have your taxes done by somebody else and like all your programs and that kind of thing, like it adds up.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. We know that it does, so yeah, you gotta consider everything. I'm just making this a little bit bigger. Yeah, how does everybody feel about this typography that we have? Actually, I'm sorry, I'm going back.
Are we doing variations as well? Maybe we can have like the chat to vote.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind this, but I kind of want to go for something a little bit more like this. Okay, so Cooper Nouveau. So what I like to do is just make sure all of my things are unlocked and then just like drag this artboard over here. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's see.
It's voting time, chat. Get your fastest fingers first.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Almost. Okay, let me let's see. Okay, so I like this one. Like I thought before, it might be a little bit like there might be not quite enough contrast with like the Illustrator. Sorry, I'm like pointing at my screen with my hand. There might not be enough contrast with like the actual illustration and with the font. You know, it's all very like really playful and like a little bit wild. So I like these like chunky fonts like this kerned together, or maybe it's tracking and kerning I always get mixed up with, but I like these close together.
Nice. I actually like that fun, playful font.
Yeah, it is pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
It also comes with a few like alternates as well, but for some reason, they're not showing up. Maybe it's just not with these letters, but yeah, that's pretty fun.
But I love variable fonts. Super
right?
Fun.
Yeah.
So these are options. Is this voting time? Hey, you guys have to
I just
vote.
don't know if I'm set on this. So I'm sorry. I'm so indecisive.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to hype
everyone up. I get that. Yes. Let's see. How about yeah. I'm sorry if I'm like ruining your hype up session.
No way, you're building it.
Okay, great.
You're building the tension. We love it.
Yes. Okay, building tension. That's what I'm doing. I just don't really know about this. Maybe it's not working with the rest of it. You know, maybe I'll change what if I changed the color to, what if I changed this to all black? Would that help me get some clarity? Oh, okay. I'm kind of into this actually. And if I take this thing out of the picture, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. Nice. Okay, so maybe these are kind of like two different options. What I'm actually
what I really love about this whole scenario right now is that you're actually physically moving back to like zoom out yourself.
Yeah, to see how it looks. Like squinting. Yeah. Totally.
That's my favorite bit.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I'm like, oh, you got a head tilt and see how that looks.
Exactly. Cool. So I think what I could do is also like move a few of these down a little bit more and kind of like get into the shape of the actual word. Because I like it when like it's not just like a straight up font plopped on there with two, like I want it to be kind of integrated, you know? So I think that could be kind of fun to have it like this. Let's see. Cute. Okay. I'm actually kind of more into, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm kind of more into this version. But yeah, I want to know what the chat thinks. So let's see, what do we like better? A, the all black version with this, or B, this more, I don't know, am I giving too many like weird different options? A or B?
A or B, yeah, let us know, chat.
There we go.
Do we want voting? Well, is that possible? Can you make us a vote, please? Voting place? I don't know. What is it?
A poll?
A poll, yes.
Thank
you. Yeah, A is the left one and B is the right one. So let us know which one you like better. Ben likes the black one. Matthew says box removed is really good. Samantha also likes the box removed. Roman also likes the black one. And everybody's loving the direction that we're going. So yeah,
awesome.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad. So
Val is super excited. Val just said, what if we made Cameron blue or orange on the black version?
Oh, okay.
We can make a third version. Hey, let's make C.
Yeah. Okay. C. Okay. Sorry, it's actually gonna have to be. I'm putting it over here. It can be C though.
Yeah, we can maybe put like a text box on top just so that people can see which one is C.
Sure.
Later on. Awesome. Val is making a poll, you guys.
Okay. So. Great.
Oh wait, Val already made the poll, and we only have.
That's fine.
That's fine. We can just talk about the C over here. That's totally fine. Okay,
talking about this.
Yeah.
What's happening? Oh, sorry. I think it was because of my appearance panel. I was doing something in here potentially. Let me clear this.
No, I think,
There
that
we go.
changed the color. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
that's fun.
Oh my God, Val is making a new poll, so we're good.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Val. I'm sorry for the chaos. Oh, but
No,
gotta love it.
I love chaos. Obviously, but yeah, this is
We thrive in chaos.
Yeah, and this is like my style of designing. I'm just like, oh, well, maybe this.
Okay, now we can do the blue one as A, B, and C in order because it's gonna be a new poll. So
okay, great.
I guess this is good.
So blue is A, B, C.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, meanwhile, if you guys are joining right now, hey, we are with Mackenzie Bird. She's a brand designer, and we are working on a custom beverage label, which is wine in this case. If you're watching this on YouTube, hop on over to Behance, hey, come say hi, and vote. We are in the chat. We are voting for the best ones out of these three, according to you. And tell us what you think. We want to hear from you. Come on over to be.net/Adobe Live.
Yeah, I love that people can like live chat. When I first was watching these, I would always just like watch the replay on YouTube, and then I was like, wait a second, it's so fun to like engage with the people.
Yeah, we've got a vote up and running, and you can vote it. Vote for it.
Yeah.
Hey ho, you get it.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a close call. People are really loving the C right now. C has like 44% votes.
C? Okay. No, not to be completely like caught off guard, but C. So this one, C.
Yeah. The color version. The blue is making me think that it is highlighted. Oh, like a link. I get it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, but you got to think like it's going to be on print on a paper. So,
right.
Yeah.
Let me just, what do I want to do here? I think I don't know. Maybe we want it without this thing. I think that might be better.
The chat also wants to see orange. So maybe once we get our votes in, we can maybe try another one just to compare it with the one that got voted the best.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. B is winning so far. Hey, you guys, gotta go and vote.
Whoops, what's happening?
You guys are causing chaos. The votes are like changing every single second. So.
Oh boy, wow. Okay.
Love it. I keep them coming.
Right.
Okay, B is winning right now.
Okay, B, that's this one.
We're gonna open it for the next 30 seconds. So vote and then we can end the voting lines.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a game show, but no.
That's fun. Okay.
What do you think? What do you think works the best in terms of design aspect?
I currently am liking just like B because I feel like it's satisfying to see it all as one color, and then I'm kind of like imagining what else could come. But I don't really know. Like the thing is on the let me go back to the mood board actually. So all of these are obviously super there's a lot of color, but they all kind of like something they have in common is that they're just like one or two colors. So maybe that's an option, is just to like focus on one. And then with the second wine label, we could also do like the same color or different color. That might be fun because I actually saw with this brand, they have basically the same label, but like in different color variations. So that's just like an easy way of differentiating them. So maybe I should just go for just a single color, not necessarily black, but just like do it all one. So that's where I'm going with that.
Nice. Yeah, that actually sounds good. The last time I checked vote, it was 42% for both B and C because 42 is the answer to the universe and everything else.
Okay.
And now it is C is winning. So hey, we have our votes logged in.
Okay. Interesting.
Just one.
Well, how about I work with B and kind of like make it more colorful? That'll be kind of like a happy medium, I feel like.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
All right. So
We
let's
have
see.
more people joining us. Ryan and
Awesome.
Bliss just joined. Hey, welcome on in.
Yeah.
Ryan
hi,
really
everyone.
enjoys the colors and the type that you've used. So that's really
Awesome.
fun.
Yeah, maybe I'm actually gonna add a little stroke on this type. Oh, Phil. Okay. What's happening? Let me add a stroke.
There's also a suggestion in the chat.
Ooh, yeah, let's hear it.
So Bliss mentions that they were like C with like the typeface that you've used in B. So like the colorful one, but with the typeface in B. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me try that after actually.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that looks pretty good. I am happy with that. So sorry, can you repeat that? It was like the type in B, colorful in C.
Yeah, use C as like the final design, but use the type in from B as the type.
Okay, cool. I'll do a version with that as well. So this is, although this is like the only one of the two wine labels that I'm doing, I feel like we're just kind of like laying it out right now. And then I'm going to replace some of the elements. And then, yeah, this is just kind of like the base one, I guess. Let's see how we're doing this right. Yeah, I would, yeah, what else can we ask the chat? I want to like engage more. It's so like, obviously there's so many things going on in my mind. I'm like trying to design and trying to like chat and everything like that. Yeah. But what else can we ask? I want to know, like, are other people in the chat, are you freelancers? Like, are you a designer like as a profession? Do you do it as a hobby? Like, where are you at in your design journey?
Yeah, let us know, chat. Also, Rachel and Paloma, thank you for the suggestion. Really love it. Yeah, I kind of like your direction of like going with two colors. I feel like that's really good for like in terms of printing as well. Very cost effective.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is always something to keep in mind. Whoopsie. Sorry.
Yeah, don't have 10 colors, you guys. It's going to be hard for you to print.
Yeah, that is very true. Especially like in terms of printing, I think a lot of the time, like Pantones cost extra sometimes. So you never know.
Love it.
All right.
Sabrina's a design student. Hey, nice.
Oh, cute. That's fun.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Great.
Okay. So I'm just like, there's so much, there's always so much like tiny little touching up things that happen when you're designing. Hey.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I'll move this a tiny little bit over here and this a tiny little bit over here.
Yeah, always going back and tweaking. I feel like that's totally a natural part of the process.
Yeah. And then you kind of have to like do that. Yeah.
Oh, I just saw you do that. Nice. Ben is freelancing from 2 years after 9 years in TV as a motion designer. Hey, that's fun.
Oh, wow.
That's exciting.
That's awesome. Love TV.
Yeah. Caroline was a PM for 13 years in e-commerce and switched to graphic design 5 years ago. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
We have all varied experiences over here and hobbyists as well in chat. That's really nice.
Cool. Yeah, I love to hear like, because I don't know, there's so many different people that like find design as their career or as their hobby like at different times. So I'm always interested. Yeah, for me, it wasn't like, I was always super creative growing up and I wanted to be an artist when I was a child, but it's like, I don't know, I liked to paint as a kid. Kids like to do that, but I never really like considered it as a career until after I went to university the first time and I like met other people who did that because I'm from a really small town and there was only one graphic designer there. So there wasn't really like an example of like somebody who is like, they designed the phone book and that's it. So back when phone books were a thing, but yeah.
Well, phone books are also hard to design.
Yeah, no, totally. Like props
Absolutely.
to designing a phone book,
Yeah.
but it wasn't super like fun to me, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I totally get that. We have a lot of students in chat as well. That's
oh,
perfect,
cool.
actually. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, being a
Love
student
it.
is like, it's fun. Enjoy it. Because
Mhm.
that's like my favorite thing about it was just like you can really do anything, any project that you want.
Yeah.
Because when you have clients or when you're like working at a studio, you can't always do stuff that you want to do.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
sometimes you'll have to work on some pretty boring projects. But I mean, on my own, I haven't had to work on any boring projects, but when you're employed by somebody else, there are definitely less fun things that you gotta do.
Oh yeah. Do you have any tips for like design students just like dipping their toes in the outside world? How do they make work on their portfolio and stuff like that?
That's a good question. Like, I guess something to keep in mind, I think, is just like to soak up as much as you can, kind of like from every direction, both like the design from your profs and like the influence from them, as well as like things like this Adobe Lives and like all the other resources that are out there online, because I feel like a lot of times like the school and the like current online vibe, they don't always communicate with one another. So because a lot of things that I learned in school, it was like people don't do when they're freelancing and vice versa. So, and I feel like school is not always like catered towards that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always a balance, but like I say, get as much information as you can from everywhere, but take it with a grain of salt, because like I said before, I think like there are always people trying to be like, you must do these 5 things and stuff like that. And it's like, it's all like, consider where the information is coming from. And a lot of people are doing a lot of things to try and like sell you something, to try and sell you like their course or whatever. And it's like, just sometimes you gotta trust your intuition. That's what I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice. That is awesome. Ben says this is so cool talking with creators on a live stream. Hey, thanks for joining, Ben, and thanks Samantha for coming over from YouTube. Hey, that's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, welcome to the streams. And remember, if Adobe Live is offline, we are now hosting streamers on Adobe Live while we are offline. So make sure to check those out. You can check out everyone's creative processes. We have a few streamers in the chat as well. So make sure to check out people in the chat, follow each other. Hey, we're a great community here. There's a lot of support in the community, and that's what I really like. So yeah, bookmark this page. Hey.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you also do streaming on Behance as well, right, Anika?
Yeah, I do stream actually quite a lot of it, to think of it.
Awesome.
It's fun. I love streaming. Streaming is really a fun way to connect with the community. Love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I have this is my first time streaming, obviously, and it's so funny like how I feel like I'm basically only paying attention to the design and chatting with you. Like it's easy how quickly it becomes casual, I feel like. So I love that.
Yeah, you're a natural at it. You're literally a
nice
natural at it. Doesn't feel like the first time. Yeah, and just a heads up about time. We have about 25 minutes left in the stream. So if you're just joining us, we are with Mackenzie. Just a reminder. Say hi in the chat. Hey.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I am gonna get rid of this blue version because I don't want to like have it I don't want to clutter everything up, but we are gonna add some color in here.
Also save your work. Hey, friendly reminder, PSA.
Yes.
I feel like I constantly worry about saving my work. Even though I use a cloud document most times.
Right. It's good to like have that in your mind though, right? Yeah. It's a good habit to get into because yes, I've been burned before. So
yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna space this out a little bit more. I am just so blown away by how fast this has gone. Okay, yeah. So somebody said orange. I believe somebody said orange. Let's try that. Because I really do like that. Especially like on a wine label, I think it would be like a good contrast between like the color of the bottle. So what is going on here? Okay, deleting. And
appearance
now
panel.
Yes, good old appearance panel. Oh, why
betraying
don't I make a
us.
swatch actually? Yeah.
Betrayal.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it's not gonna betray me this time. Let's see. Yes, this is what we wanted. And then this, and I think it was at 2. Yeah, I like that. Okay. How about within the swatches? So now this is what somebody was saying before, I think. Let's preview that. You know, as I said before, just using good old RGB. That's my process. I don't necessarily recommend it, but sometimes you gotta have fun. Okay, I'm pretty like satisfied with that. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to lock that layer. I think, do you name your layers? Do you use layers? I know a lot of people are like, it's kind of a joke within the designers that they're like, I don't name my layers, I don't use my layers, I don't do anything. So what do you do?
Yeah, why don't you answer that first and then I can talk about it.
For this, I like wanted to be a good example and use layers, name layers. I usually only have like a layer that's called background, and then I just kind of, oh look, I even have an illustration one.
Oh, nice.
But usually I just have background, and then it'll be like layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah,
hey, those are names.
That's true.
No, I'm a compulsive name your layers person. I'm team name your layers. I do like to segregate everything according to what I want, just to make my life easy and the client's life easy. I mean, I don't have to go back and find what is where if I just do it while I'm doing it, you know?
Yeah. So you were taught well, I guess, because that is another great habit to get into, is like naming your layers, especially with packaging, because a lot of the times you'll be like using die lines or something like that. So yeah, I'm glad that you do that.
Chat. What are you, team name your layers or team don't care?
Ooh, I'm nervous. Okay, there's something like, there's some weird artifact that's happening, so I'm just gonna kind of ignore that for now. I bet if I save it and open it up, that won't happen again. But I'm just kind of like making a few of these because I want a little black and orange in there. I'm pretty happy with that. I think if I had a little bit more time, I would also maybe kind of make this word a little bit more custom. So that is also an option, like just change a few of the things about it, I guess. But while we're at it, let's make the second one now. So sorry to everyone who wanted this concept. I think we're gonna go with this one. This one is still here as a reminder of what could have been. But yeah, I like to like keep all my old things usually on. Even it's like I like a balance of like not being too cluttered, but also keeping it like what I was doing before, because I feel like it's so fun to look back on and be like, wow, look how much I liked this, and then it got way better after this. So even when you think like, oh, this is great, sometimes you just have to like take a step back and then like revisit it and be like, this is what it was missing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great way to compare your process as well, just to like see where you started from and where you are now.
Exactly.
Nice. Everyone, we're getting mixed responses. We have team name your layers, name layers, name layers. I don't care. I'm the worst.
I don't care. I'm the worst. Okay. So a little bit of everything. Props if you name your layers, but like if you don't, I'm
it's
right
totally
there with
okay.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all name it when sending it to clients, but it's totally okay if it's like you're just doing it. That's totally fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I think I'm bring in this other illustration for the Amy one. I might like pull apart some of this. So I'm just going to do the same image trace as I did before. Let's see. Okay.
I actually like the food illustrations you created. It looks so fun, especially the wine glass.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of fun. I think this is going pretty well. Yeah, let's expand that. And I will lock this background here. Yeah, it is really nice to have named layers, I can't lie.
We're converting Mackenzie here. Hey, you guys. We did a great job.
From now on, I will like be a named layers person.
Love it. Love to see it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. Get that.
Are we working on the second label now?
Yes. Yeah, this is label number 2. I might just like take a few of these elements. We've already got some flowers on this one, so I might take a few of these elements, but what I'm gonna do first is call this Amy. Ooh, see, look at this A on here. That one is pretty good. What else have we got?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think this one is more fun, but it might
takes up a lot more space.
Totally.
Yeah. Is there like a N that is also a variable? Sorry to cut you, but like I really just want to see if there's like an N that matches the A.
Oh yeah, let's see. Ooh, like that? Like that? Yeah, pretty big capital letters in this.
Yeah, that could go with it. Like if we did something like that in Cameron as well. At the end, so that it would vary.
Okay, and like that's kind of fun.
It's not available in the
in the lowercase.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Oh no.
That's okay. I could try seeing if these could like be okay. I think I would have to do a lot of be fun as capitals, but maybe next time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know. You can't change words, you know? Sometimes I'm like, oh, this one it's all one line, and then the Y, that's just letters sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we go over how you chose like the different versions of the glyphs? Is that something that you can run through?
Sure thing. Well, yeah. So I just like to highlight this, and then you can see all the glyphs that this font has like in here. So when you highlight it, it just shows up if it has like alternates. So you can click this. For this one, you can click, there's no Y. I thought this had more, to be honest. Yeah, so you just highlight it, find that. A lot of fonts here, I'll just do like an extra little mini thing on the side here.
Nice.
A lot of fonts have really, really good ones. Bookmania, I think, is one that has a ton of glyphs and stuff. Check out all these. Look at that. So this is like the example that I always use of a font that has so many different ones. So that's really fun to use. And I love that. So yeah, love a glyph.
Yeah, absolutely. I love variable fonts. There's this website called v-fonts.com, which has a lot of fun variable fonts as well.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out after.
Yeah, lately I've been just exploring like a lot of type designers as well. I came across a few earlier today. It's really fun. Awesome.
That's cool. Have you ever font?
Were you just
gonna ask me that? Oh, jinx.
I have tried making like a Halloween themed font. I'm still working on it. I started last year, and I've also I've made like a custom font for like a personal project that I was making for my portfolio.
Oh, that's cool.
Both of them are under progress because it takes a long time to refine them. But yeah, I'm familiar with the process. I really love it. And now I just want to dive into making a color font, but I'm just like stopping myself from doing it. Like, let's just complete these two and then go on to starting a new one.
Right. That is tough. It is really, really fun to start a new project. Sometimes more fun than completing the old ones, though. Okay. That's fun, though.
I really love these grapes that you're adding.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was kind of like same but different of these flowers. So that is kind of fun. Yeah, just copy and paste it. Maybe I'll transform it, make it look a little bit different. So it's like not a complete copy of the same thing, but yeah, that's what I'm doing with that. I wish I had another thing, but maybe I could. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if a fork and knife makes sense because charcuterie you eat with your hands. So now that I think about it, maybe not the most logical, but we'll see.
Well, that's okay, I guess. You know how people eat pizza with like fork and knife and hands, and like it's all right. It's your call.
That's true. Yeah. People do that apparently. So go ahead. That is
it's
not
all
me,
good.
but yeah, I can understand that wanting to.
Yeah, I feel like it fits right in. It adds like a different element as well. So I kind of like it.
Okay. It was just like some little cheese wheel thing. Then we got this. Yeah,
love that. Yeah, you guys, we have a little bit over 15 minutes left here with Mackenzie. So if you have any last minute questions, make sure to put them in the chat. But we will be back tomorrow. But if you have any for today regarding what we're doing with the type, make sure to pop them in.
Totally.
Oh, Matthew is right. You do use the knife to like spread the sauces or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, like to spread some kind of jam or something. Yes.
Yeah, basically.
That is a good point.
Yeah, true that. Thank you.
Thanks.
We forgot about it.
Whoopsie. Okay.
So do you typically make all of the illustrations that you use in your design process, or do you like use stock illustrations? How does that work?
I haven't used stock illustrations. I see how they could be helpful though if you like wanted to partner with another illustrator maybe like for a project, then you could kind of like give an example and then like give examples of like illustrators that do similar work because that is like what I did when I worked at a studio actually before was like just use some stock illustrations in place of the real thing. So that's a good option. But I actually haven't used any in my process.
Let me add some of me neither, actually. I do like to make. Sometimes it's really useful to not use stock illustrations in my opinion, because then you have like everything made for the brand, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Especially like if you use like a font that you created just for the brand, it's like just the brand that can be identified with those.
Yeah, that is very true. Because like that's the whole point of designing that's the whole point of hiring somebody to design a brand, I guess, is that like you can't do it yourself and you want it to be unique in that way. So
but I feel like sometimes you have to cut corners and you just have to make the choices of using stock and paying for it and having your clients pay for it. And if you do use stock, if you guys are students and if you're using stock, make sure to read the licenses on those. That's really important.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, licenses on anything. I think like when you're a student, a lot of them might be like, oh, student license or like a portfolio project license, so that you can get quite a few things for free. But basically as soon as like somebody is making money off it, you have to pay whatever is required for like the proper license.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So I'm feeling like this is pretty good so far. It's kind of like this one is a little bit less full than this one is, so I might consider like removing some of these. but I'm just gonna make this, I don't know, maybe I change the color of that, or I'm not sure. It's funny because now I'm liking this in black and then this orange as well, but I wanted to add a bit more color to it. Maybe we could make this one blue. Like, I think we had this kind of, I'll just go, yeah, like this kind of blue. I feel like this palette would be good for this one. So let's see.
Yeah. I'm curious. Does the brand have like a particular logo that they also want on the label? Is that a thing?
That's a good point, actually. And that is still like in the process. So I'm kind of like designing this alongside the logo. So I did have like a teeny little Savor thing to add just like as a placeholder that is somewhere in this file. Let me zoom out. Here we go. Oh yeah. There's a bunch of other stuff around here. Didn't end up using these.
There you go.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So I might like just add this in like to the illustrated part, because I think that would be fun. And yeah, if you're interested in this business, you should follow along with them, because I'm also going to be doing their website as well. And I think they're on Instagram. They post a lot of really beautiful food photos. So you can find them at, I think it's just like Savor Charcuterie.
Nice.
So they are pretty fun to follow. And yeah, they've been so fun to work with. So just like something like this, I might put, maybe say I'll put it in here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun
just
way
like that. Could make this really small. Kind of maybe I might change some things about it, like to match with the rest of this like illustrated style, because I feel like this was used with a different brush, like saved at a different size, etc. And that is like something that tends to bother me is like when something is really I don't know, when the brushes are two very different sizes and it's obvious and it's like not intentional. I feel like a lot of the time you can like tell if something is intentional or not.
I love that you use the appearance panel to add a stroke to it to make it cohesive.
Thank you for noticing.
Love that tip. We do have great. One last question. I feel like we have very little time to get any questions, but we did have a question from Caroline asking if you actually design and build the website or just like outsource it to a development agency.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I will design it. So I use XD. And for this particular website, we're making it in Shopify. So I'll design it in Adobe XD and then send it to the Shopify developer. But I make my own websites in Squarespace, but for this particular one, Shopify was like better suited to them. So yeah, that's the answer.
Great question.
Yeah, good question.
Everybody's loving the food illustrations a lot. They awesome. Have great energy. Love that.
Ooh, yeah, how fun. Okay, so this is the swatch that we have been using, and I will do this. Okay, not working again. That's what I get for doing something weird with the appearance panel. I'm just gonna clear this now. Let's see. Okay, clear. Goodbye. Now add. Okay, I don't think I got everything. See, I was like, I love this tool. I use it all the time and I know how to use it. But let's see. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That confirms.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. That looks
yeah, fun. I think it would be fun again to add like some black to this as well. So yeah.
Yeah, love it. I actually love like how the eye moves along with the different elements in the food illustration.
Nice, thanks. Yeah, so I would say I'm pretty happy with the way this one is going. I might consider changing the typography of these and just kind of like the overall layout because I feel like there's a lot more white space in this one than there is in this one. Yeah, these I actually didn't I want a Chinese blue? We have time to change the color of this, eh?
Yeah, I guess we're almost right up to time, but
Okay.
maybe you can walk through us what we did today, starting on day one,
Okay.
and tell us a little bit about what we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we kind of checked out the mood board that I had made. This was the what exists on the market already and what we want to go for, the direction we want to move in, and laid out everything on these art boards. So these are the actual like physical labels that we're going to be using.
Mhm.
And then laid out all the typography, changed the colors, added this typography as well. And so tomorrow I will go into mocking it up. First, I'll actually change the colors into Pantone colors and CMYK as well. And then tomorrow we will mock it up on some mockups, and I'll show you that in Photoshop. So I made the mockups from photos as well. So you get a little bit of everything. And yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
that's fun. Yeah. Are we gonna make presentations as well? I know you mentioned InDesign earlier.
Yeah. So I made this like base presentation
Mhm.
in InDesign, but I can do that as well, and I can show you what it looks like in the rest of the client presentation when I'm like presenting it to the client.
Awesome. Yeah, gotta love brand presentations.
Yeah.
I really love where we've come with this. Do you have any last minute words to say to the audience? How is your experience and where people can follow you?
Yeah, for sure. So I hope you will watch it tomorrow as well. I have had so much fun with this. And you can follow me on Instagram. My handle, you can probably just look up mbird, or you can visit my website. It's mbird.ca,
Mhm.
and check out more of my work there. You can also follow me on Behance. I think the link will probably be somewhere in, so you'll be able to find it from this stream probably.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love chatting to other designers and other people who are like just getting into it. So I'm always here to help. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a pleasure hosting you, Mackenzie. It has been an amazing 2 hours. Time flies truly, and it has
I
been
can
an
believe it.
amazing week of women highlighting all the women identifying artists and designers. If you guys haven't caught those yet, go ahead and watch the replays. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back at 12 p.m. Pacific for part two with Mackenzie over here. And I want to say stay tuned for the XD Daily Creative Challenges with Elise up next. And Adobe Live will be back tomorrow with more Adobe Creative Cloud Express streams. Adobe Creative Cloud Express is actually a free app that you can use to make social media worthy assets. So make sure to tune into those. But until then, stay creative. And I just want to say bye to you and to the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye.